the Knicks are setting up interviews for next week with head coach candidates, and many Knick fans want Mark Jackson to be one of the people interviewed. And recently, Mark Jackson himself addressed the Knicks head coach job. We're going to break down all of these latest reports today. But before we get started, about 52% of you watching this video right now are not subscribed to the channel. If you're enjoying the content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it could really support all the great content that we're creating for you. And now, let's get started. Mark Jackson finally addresses the Knicks head coach job. If you poll the city of New York for who should be the next head coach of this Knicks team, I would bet a lot of money that one of the top choices would be Mark Jackson. He has history with the Knicks, history with this city, and many Knicks fans believe he would be the perfect coach for this team. He's already received several big endorsements to be the next head coach of this team. But the biggest endorsement came from his former head coach, Rick Pitino. Let's break down exactly what he had to say about Mark Jackson and him potentially taking the Knicks head coaching job. According to Rick Pitino, he sent the following message out on the app X, and he stated, "I obviously coached our rookie of the year, Mark Jackson. I believe he spent 18 years in the NBA as a player. Great coach with the Warriors, and one of the brightest minds I've coached. Would love to see the Knicks bring Mark Jackson home." Talk about an endorsement. When Rick Pitino says anything about the Knicks, New York basketball, or anything, you listen. You listen to what he has to say. And clearly, he's endorsing Mark Jackson to be the next head coach of this team. Well, recently, Mark Jackson heard those comments, and he was on a radio show, and he had the following to say about Rick Pitino, and in the process, he also addressed the Knicks head coaching job. Shout out to Mark Jackson for giving us this following information here. He said the following on Rick Pitino's statement. According to Jackson, he's a legend. I love him to death. I'm not in the league 17 years playing if he's not my first coach. I'm forever grateful. And he's coached to me. He's a brilliant basketball mind. He's turned over St. John's University and turned back the hand of time to bring them back to their glory days. It's great to watch. It's fun to watch. He's one of the greatest coaches in the history of sports, not just basketball. And on top of that, he's got great taste by that statement. That last part right there was Mark Jackson acknowledging the head coaching job. And clearly, him saying that Rick Pitino has great taste for endorsing him as the next head coach of this team. Clearly, that tells you, it shows you, he wants to be here. He wants to be the next head coach of this team. He loves New York. He loves the Knicks, and he definitely wants to return to coaching. But there's a problem here. He is not one of the top candidates listed for the Knicks and their head coach search. Right now, the top two names on that list is Taylor Jenkins and Mike Brown. And both of those coaches currently will be interviewed by this Knicks team next week. Now, maybe the Knicks will set up some other interviews as well, too. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like one of those interviews will be with Mark Jackson. I haven't heard anything apart from these endorsements regarding Mark Jackson being a serious candidate for the next head coach for this Knicks team. New York is looking at all avenues, all possibilities. Ian Bagley already reported in their search for a new head coach, they are casting a wide net. They want to look at every option available. So in my opinion, if the Knicks are going to do that, then do that with Mark Jackson as well, too. Clearly, it means something to the city of New York. Many Knicks fans want him to be the next head coach, and it would appease a lot of people if you just gave him an interview. How does it hurt to just give him an interview and see what he does, see what he says, see potentially what he would do with this Knicks team next season? That's all you can hope for. And with somebody like Mark Jackson, who has history with this Knicks team, history with the city, why wouldn't you go that direction? I understand for most parts of the NBA, he's been blackballed. He's been blacklisted. We all see that. He's nowhere to be found, even though we all used to remember. We heard it every single NBA Finals. Mama, there goes that man. Where is it now? We don't even get to hear it anymore. He's nowhere to be found. He's doing his own podcast right now, but that is it. And I think, given the way the Knicks are going about this head coach search, clearly no plan in place, and they're interviewing all potential candidates, you have to make one of those people Mark Jackson. Even if you don't give him the job, at least do it to see what comes of it. Maybe something good comes of it. Maybe something good comes of it. Maybe nothing good comes of it. But you're not going to know unless you try. And you can't say you've tried if you haven't even reached out to the man to see if he's available for an interview. And get this, he is capable and overly qualified for this position. So why not go ahead and give him an interview? See what he says. See what he can do. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's not going to hurt you. It can only help you in your search for the next head coach of this Knicks team. Mark Jackson, a native New Yorker, is intimately familiar with basketball in the city. He played high school ball in Brooklyn, started in college at St. John's, and opened his NBA career with 5 seasons with the Knicks. He has not coached since his 2014 exit from Golden State, however. But 2014 is a very long time, and I think we've all moved on. We all understand that Golden State was Golden State because of Mark Jackson. He started it, and Steve Kerr finished it. Now, wouldn't it be so ironic if the Knicks brought in Mark Jackson to elevate this Knicks team and take them to the next level? Because remember, back in 2014 when he was fired, they thought the Warriors needed a new voice to get them to that next level. They found Steve Kerr, and the rest was history. Maybe, just maybe, Mark Jackson could be that person for this Knicks organization. But if it's not him, clearly New York has a lot of different candidates to choose from. Taylor Jenkins, Mike Brown, Mike Woodson. The list goes on and on and on. But for me, and maybe it's because I am a New Yorker and I understand what Mark Jackson means to this city, I believe, without a doubt, the one thing this Knicks front office needs to do, if they're casting that wide net to interview all possible candidates, is to make sure one of the people they interview is Mark Jackson. Even if he doesn't get the job, still interview him. But unfortunately, if you're asking my honest opinion, I don't believe that Mark Jackson will get any interview for this head coach position. The Knicks already have a list of top head coach candidates that they want to interview next week, and Mark Jackson is not on that list. The top candidates right now are Taylor Jenkins and Mike Brown. And honestly, I think one of those two is likely going to be the next head coach of this Knicks team. And I'm leaning a little bit more in Taylor Jenkins' direction, only because of his age and the fact that he can grow with this Knicks team. But it is very disappointing that New York won't even look in the direction of Mark Jackson to even give him one interview to see what he can do, see what he can say. The reports all indicate that New York is not rushing this process and is casting a wide net over the entire league to see who's available and who actually wants this head coaching job. Clearly, Mark Jackson wants this job. So I think it's up to the Knicks to at least give him one interview and see what happens. Do I think they're going to do that? Unfortunately not. But should they? They absolutely should. And the main reason for it is because of what they've said publicly. They want to take a look at all available candidates. How is that a true statement if you're not looking at Mark Jackson too? But what about you guys? What do you think about Rick Pitino endorsing Mark Jackson to be the next head coach of this Knicks team? And what do you think about Mark Jackson's response to Pitino and him stating he's got great taste by that statement he made about me being the next head coach of this Knicks team? Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.